fatal heart impacts, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet now. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty, hello everybody. This is Q's show here, and now, whenever we last left off with this series, we had Izuku Midoriya, and well, after his son came back in time and gave Midoriya the Time Stone, Midoriya, he has been trying to solve the Terrigen Storm problem. Him and the Inhumans have aligned themselves with each other, and they are united in trying to discover a solution. That does not end in a total destruction, or the end of the Inhumans making more of their own species. Now, with that being said, Midoriya, he did then run into a time-traveling version of himself, who has alerted him that things will go wrong with their plan. And Midoriya, he's seen every reality this version of himself has tried to stop. Every encounter was different. If it wasn't the humans interfering, it was the Purifiers. If it wasn't the Purifiers, it was the heroes trying their own plan at the same time, and trying to contain the storm. Now, Midoriya has seen many different realities crumble and fall. The realities where the mutants try to at least do good, they all do seemingly end. And the mutants, they have been at the end of their rope. In only one reality were they close to being successful. And that reality, Midoriya, he had to do a lot. A lot of people had to die in order to save the human race. And Midoriya, he's ready to make that happen. As we do have roughly 5 days before Terrigenesis. And Midoriya and the X-Men, they are still rampaging around the Earth. There are 3,200 mutants. And along with the Inhumans on their side, there is a lot going on. This being where the world is trying to think of a solution. They have deployed many different types of Sentinels. However, they've already been either wiped out or destroyed by Izuku Midoriya and his own team. Now, Midoriya himself, he has made sure to destroy Sentinels and take out the higher valued ones. As you do also have Max, who he's been doing his best. And they've all been able to incapacitate heroes who do stand in their way. Midoriya, he ordered them specifically to not kill. And this is what has been currently happening. Heroes are still alive. However, there have been a little bit of accidents on the way. And a lot of supervillains have all been murdered. As Midoriya, he does publicly announce again today that he is still waiting on a response from Tony Stark. And that if he doesn't get a response soon, he will take to space, taking the initiative in finding the Space Stone. And then he will come back here and tear the Power Stone from his cold, dead hands if he does have to. He will not ask again, willingly come forwards, or he will be forced to bend reality and try and take the stone by force. Now, Midoriya would then fly away. As he does go to split up using his shadow manipulation. And he begins to fly all around the world. Now, the mutant scientist Forge and Beast are both talking, along with Inhuman scientists and their smartest people, as they believe that they have figured everything out and should put the plan in place soon. However, as Midoriya, he's currently flying across the ocean with Rogue by his side. The two are talking, and Midoriya, he is trying to explain what happened with him and Robert. Midoriya, he feels different somehow, and he's not exactly too sure as to why. And Rogue, she is trying to explain. Maybe Midoriya, well, stopped the Century's detonation, or they became one somehow? She's not exactly too sure. And Midoriya, he would talk about how that might sound right, but he can't be he can't be Robert, he's still himself. Now, as this is happening, Midoriya and Rogue would stop, and both look up, as there does stand a giant man, who he does hold the earth in between his hands, and look down at it. As you do have Midoriya who does go rocketing up into space. And he does actually encounter the giant man standing directly in front of his face. Who are you? I am Galactus. I see. The Silver Surfer is one of your heralds, correct? Yes, the Surfer is one of mine. I thought so. Why are you here? I come seeking aid. Aid? What are you talking about? Now, Galactus was going talking about how he's been hunted down by Thanos, and he's trying to get a object in his possession. Really? This object wouldn't happen to be a stone, would it? Now, Midoriya, he would hear Galactus say yes, as directly from his hand, the space stone would reappear, and it would actually go to float directly in front of Galactus' face, and Midoriya would see it. Perfect. Now, Midoriya does go to reach out for it, as it does go to float away from Midoriya's hand. I require help. I'm aware of that. Now give me the stone. Do you believe you can defeat Thanos? I can. I believe so. I already have most of the stones. Thanos shouldn't be an obstacle. He will be. He will take out all life in the universe. He's done that before, hasn't he? Yes. Good. That just means I can kill him. You are an arrogant one, child. Now, as this is going on, you do have Thanos and his own forces, who are heading straight for Earth. Now, Midoriya doesn't even really bother. He just goes to look in the direction that the fleet is coming from. And he does go to bring up his hand, as he does feel his power act differently. His hands aren't glowing red, they're glowing black. And Midoriya, he does actually watch as he does send a blast that way. At his most minimal power. And, yeah, he believes that he just obliterated a fourth of the asteroid belt. That's new. Now, as that does happen, Midoriya, he does actually watch as a beam does come directly at him. And Midoriya, he is confused by it, as he does then teleport away onto a distant planet. I think I'm on Mars. Now, you do actually then have Thanos, who would come walking forwards. You have something I seek. That's it? This is you. You don't sound impressed. More disappointed, really. I've heard you messed up my reality before. You wiped out half the life in the universe years ago, didn't you? I did. Huh, of course. Well, I'm here to repay that. Besides, if it wasn't for you, my reality wouldn't have been created in the first place. In a twisted way, I should be calling you Dad. What are you talking about, child? Easy. The energy from the gauntlet, creating the world that changed. What the heroes did, changing this world into a one where people can understand mutants better. In a way, I was born there, not here. I get it now. The energy had to go somewhere. Because of that, I'm born. So, it's kind of fitting that I battle you here. I'm taking that gauntlet for myself, Thanos. You're not gonna stop me. Now, Thanos would call Midoriya an insolent child. As Midoriya, he does go to bring up his hand. And he does then open his fist. Thanos, watching as Midoriya, he holds the Power Stone in his palm. And his blast does begin to actually form in his hand. And Midoriya, he completely hits Thanos with his power. Midoriya blasts him with the Reality Stone. And Thanos, he's struck by this, as he does actually begin to simply just do one thing. He looks around, and he does see how everything is changing. And he does get a glimpse at what Midoriya is talking about. Before Midoriya, he does just start to use the Time Stone. And he does actually turn Thanos into an old man. Before he does just stand there. And Thanos, he is barely able to stand on his own legs. And Midoriya, he would look at the man, asking Thanos if he does believe that he can even win here today. Thanos looking up at Midoriya and actually going to punch him. The moment he does punch Midoriya, it caught him off guard. He still had plenty of energy to send him flying. And Midoriya, he would just stare at Thanos, pissed off and annoyed, before just simply just bringing up one of his hands and blasting him away. Now, Midoriya punched a hole straight through Thanos, as the old man would fall backwards. And Midoriya, he would somewhat just laugh. This big bad man, that was it? That was the mighty Thanos he's heard so much about? On Sakaar, people sung legends of him as if he was a god. Now, Midoriya, he would fly back to Earth. And he does get there within a matter of seconds, as Galactus does still stand there. And Midoriya, he does tell the man that he took down Thanos. And Galactus does stare down at Midoriya, and he would ask for confirmation. Midoriya telling him that his body is like currently on the surface of Mars, if he does want to go check. Now, Midoriya would watch as the space stone does come floating directly in front of him. And, well, Galactus does ask the boy what he is. Midoriya responding with, "He's simply just a mutant." To which Galactus would fly away and not even really want to bother trying to challenge the boy. He had enough power to take down Thanos. That is not an easy feat. Now, with that being said, Midoriya would fly back down to Earth, as he does know he has everything ready. All he needs now is the Power Stone, and his plan will be complete. Now, with that being said, we do actually have Tony Stark, who he does deploy the Avengers, and he does even deploy Sentinels that he's specially created. Each Sentinel is made specifically for one target, and some of them, they are able to easily be defeated by many targets. Now, with that being said, Tony Stark, he also does go to suit up, as he does ask Jarvis for one last test, or at least calculation. And he would ask his chances of surviving against that boy. And Jarvis would talk, telling him that if he goes against Izuku Midoriya, his chances of survival are below 0.1%. And that's even not factoring in the Cosmic Cube, let alone, well, the Reality Stone, or the Time Stone. Now, he would then ask Jarvis to rerun the numbers and add in the Power Stone to his calculation, to which that entire 0.1 margin does actually jump up to 10%. And Tony Stark, he would actually think about it. This might kill him, but at the same time, it might kill that kid. So, him telling the Avengers to assemble, and the world's heroes do deploy, and begin to fight with mutants all over the world. Now, Tony Stark is heading to where the Sentry would be, and trying to find Robert Reynolds, as he does walk into the man's apartment. And he does see a note sitting directly on the table, as he does go to pick it up. And he does see that this is about Robert. The Sentry is dead, is all the paper does say. And Tony Stark, he does feel a lump in his chest. It's not his arc reactor, that's his heart dropping. Now, he does then go to head out, and he does go to seek revenge. Midoriya murdered the Sentry. That's what he does believe. Now, we do actually cut over to Midoriya, as he's currently taking down another supervillain. Now, Tony Stark, he would come flying in. As Midoriya, he does actually turn where he does hear the thrusters in Stark's boots. However, Midoriya does wonder, that sound as well, what is it? Midoriya turning and being struck in the face by Iron Man, as Midoriya is sent flying away. Now, Midoriya is confused when he does go to get back up, and he would go to wipe his lip, as he does see blood. What was that? Midoriya would say. Him going to turn back to Iron Man, and he does look directly at a arc reactor. And you do actually then have Tony Stark, who would go to actually bend down and grab Midoriya, pulling him up, before he does just punch him in the face, hard. And he does actually then go to bring his hand up and blast Midoriya's chest, as Midoriya he's sent flying away. Now, Midoriya is confused by everything. However, he does get back up and look at Tony, as he does see this. Now, Tony Stark, he's pulsating with a purple color, instead of the yellow and golden in the picture, as he does tell Midoriya that this is his Void Buster. Really? That's what you call it? Well, yes. I specifically designed it to take you on. In fact, I put a multiple amount of abilities and ideas into this one single suit. I modeled it after the Mark 51. Mark 51? Yes. In fact, I should tell you, studying you gave me a massive understanding of a lot of mutant powers. In fact, it's one of the reasons why I also did send my own personalized sentinels after your people. Now, Midoriya does go to get angry at this, as he does go to stand up and throw a punch directly at Tony Stark. As Stark, he actually does go to catch the punch with his hand, as a rocket jet does actually pop out of the side of his arm and start to blast away with power. As Midoriya's hand, which is going forwards, does get stopped by Tony's and then start to move backwards against it. As Midoriya, he does see exactly how strong this suit is. And Midoriya is actually then going to say sorry as he is going to uppercut Iron Man as hard as he can. Now, as soon as that does happen, Midoriya expects Iron Man's head to go flying off. However, the entire suit, it does just go flying backwards. Now, with that being said, Midoriya is going to walk forwards, as Stark would go to get back up. You're still alive? Yes. I told you once, I'm not going to lose here. Now, Midoriya would just laugh, as he does ask Tony if he does know what this one particular thing is. And he doesn't understand. As Midoriya, he would just laugh a little bit, pulling out the Mind Stone and then just simply doing one thing. He holds up his left hand, and Tony would watch as it does turn into the Infinity Gauntlets. Now, Midoriya is just then going to put up all the stones on the entire gauntlet, as he does talk about how it all looks so pretty. He's just missing one. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. Have an amazing night. I'll catch you guys in the next part.